Do y'all want to kind of break it apart in different section, or y'all trying to come up with a consensus of this is the definition of how we're going to rank these wide receiver use, right? Because we could kind of break it down as like, okay, college maybe is more draft focused, maybe is more NFL focused, or we try to come up with a whole formula where we are choosing, okay, this is what wide receiver U means for all of us. We all have different viewpoints, right? Or we could try to break it down in different areas.
I feel like the whole NFL thing is like, because sometimes some people get drafted into systems that don't work for them or that doesn't support their real talent. So, I mean, that's kind of hard saying that their talents don't translate to the NFL. That's just my
And
personal opinion,
I,
though.
I think that's the whole point too, because it's just like you said, someone could get drafted to a shitty situation with no quarterback and they're not able to put up the numbers. Some are able to put up the numbers, but that's not the case for a lot of people, whether they have a bad coach and stuff like that. So that's why I fully focus on who can get their talents to the next level. I'm not really tripping like off of like what they do at that next level. I mean, a lot of the receivers that I got down from the school you about to name off have done something at the next level, but it's just more so the quantity of people that they get to the next level on a year-to-year basis. There's no breaks or nothing like that, or years off in terms of who they got into the draft in the top 3 rounds.
If I'm a high school recruit and I'm looking to go to a school, I'm looking at who's gone there before, what have they done, and what are they doing at the next level. And if I look at the school that I picked, if I look at the school that I picked, I see guys that are performing every Sunday, the top guys in the league, and I see that I'm seeing that they learned something from that school, which allowed them to be that great there, along with natural hard work and talent, and of course. So I think when we talk about wide receiver U, I feel like these are some of the things you kind of got to factor in, what they got from that school alone, and then how are they producing on Sundays.
I think as a high school recruit, though, like that third one is kind of like it don't even matter how you doing. It's matter how am I going to get there? How many people have you put into the league, and what rounds have they gone to? Because that's going to determine how much bread I'm going to get if I go to the first or the fourth round. So
Exactly.
Let's break it up then, since we can't really. There's many ways you could kind of phase it. Let's kind of break that up, right? And the schools we're going to talk about, they're all qualified to be in the conversation. I don't think we're going to talk about like. I don't think outside of LSU, outside of Ohio State, outside of Alabama, there's really any competition that's talking about, okay, we're up there with them. I don't know if y'all agree or not, if there's any other schools out there, but I don't think there's no other schools on that level. So
Nah.
with that being said, let's break it down into three. The first stage, we're going to talk about college production. Second, we're going to talk about getting them drafted, getting them to the NFL. And the third stage, we're going to talk about that NFL production, right? So let's kind of break it into that. So by college production alone, who deserved the number one spot out of those three?
I'm going with
Alabama.
LSU.
Bama,
I'm
Roll Tide.
Bama. Roll Tide.
What y'all saying? Miles, you said, well, Aaron, what you going with?
I'm going with Ohio State for all of them, so I'm
Okay.
gonna help you out there.
Okay. Miles, you went LSU. Why you go LSU just for production alone in college?
LSU has multiple award winners, Blitnikoff Award winners, which Alabama does as well. But I feel like it's a tough choice. I guess it's just a little bit of bias there because I mean Alabama does have the Heisman winner in DeMonte Smith, which is all props to him and all props to Alabama. But I just feel like when LSU put guys out, man, or when LSU has those guys, they're special. Everyone tunes in. Not to say other schools don't, but I guess I'm just biased there.
Aaron, you said Ohio State.
I think collectively, when you look at Ohio State over the years, really the past decade, dog, they've had a group. They've always had a group. Like it's not just a one-off or one or two players. It's always three at times. And I think to have a wide receiver room where all three players are as dominant as the other on a consistent basis over the years, I just don't think there's any topping that. Like you look in that room at any given time, there's going to be someone in the top two, or someone in that room is going in the top two, top three rounds at all times. And I just think that's hard to beat. So I don't really know the numbers going back to 2014 and stuff like that, but I do know a lot of Ohio State receivers have produced at a very high level. They may not have the accolades or nothing like that, but I just think that just comes with a crowded room at all times. The ball is not always going to come to you. You got to share the pill, especially at Ohio State. So And then they've always had great running backs taking the shine too. So
I'm all right, Bama guys. Why y'all say Bama?
It's just the roster's crazy, and all these guys are like, I don't know, these are all like people you gonna want to have on your fantasy football team. Like talking about who you talking about? J-Mo, Jalen Waddle, Jerry Judy, Henry Ruggs. Not even talking about the new YN. You know, you got Ryan Williams over there going crazy. Like I don't know. It just the names just don't stop. It just the farther it goes down, man. I didn't even mention the top two dogs, Devontae Smith and Amari
Yeah,
Cooper. So yeah, like.
yeah.
The
He didn't even say
list is crazy.
Julio. Like,
It, right,
the
right,
names do
exactly.
stop though. That's the thing though. There's been breaks. There's like I think
do they? Do
they
they?
do absolutely because at one before Ryan Williams, who they have the year before that was it what Trey Burton
A lot.
and Isaiah Bond, like they didn't even get drafted. I think Trey Burton went 4th round or something like that. Isaiah Bond not drafted. So they have that's what I'm saying. They got breaks in their
Could we
years of
not do
just
the
like
same with
not
Ohio
having
State?
can't actually no.
I
Not
mean,
in this past decade. That's
just
the
to touch
thing.
up on that though, it's like Alabama was going through a whole identity
Disagree.
crisis. They got to find themselves at the Saban. So like those little years right there is kind of like I don't know. All these other guys came under
They
the
gotta find
system.
them.
No, I'm just saying Bama. Yeah, they're under a whole new coaching, like a whole new system. It's a whole new process. It's not the same thing. Saban didn't just. I'm not gonna pick
Didn't
up
they?
where Saban
They
left off.
finished top 25 last year.
Hey,
I'm
Saban's
not.
Why
last
they
I'm not
year
gotta
he
saying
find
they're
them?
weak.
had
I'm not saying
my
he's weak.
fault.
I'm not saying. Go ahead. Yeah.
No, I was just saying Saban's last year, I think his best or not his last year, but one of his last 2 years, like he was rocking with Isaiah Bond and I want to say his name is Trey Burton. I could be getting it wrong, but like those
Hmm.
are
It's
guys
Burton
that
for
like
sure.
yeah, I don't know. Like that's that I would call that a lack in receiver production from Saban's class, not even just Kalen DeBoer's new class and stuff like that. So I'm gonna let
Hmm.
everybody else get their chance before I
I will
take
say
over.
this. I'm torn on this because I think about it like this. Take the big three from each school. LSU, Ohio State, Bama. Take the best three from each school. LSU has the best three. It's Jettas, Jamar Chase, Malik Neighbors. They have the best three. Ohio State's best three, to me, are Michael Thomas, Garrett Wilson, Terry McLaurin. Bama's best three are Julio Jones, Amari. What?
I don't know about that Ohio
Wait,
State
wait,
one.
Let me get my
yeah, we
Bama
was
one
going
in.
off college.
No,
We was going
let
I
him
okay.
know,
finish.
I know. My Bama guys are Julio Jones, Amari Cooper, and Devontae Smith. So if you break it down like that, to me, it's between Bama and LSU. Now, I'm going to give the Bama guys an edge because the quarterbacks that they've played with are not as up to par as the Ohio State and LSU quarterbacks. You're talking, obviously Tua's pretty good. Jalen Hurts, Super Bowl champion. My guy Bryce Young's won a Heisman. But go back to A.J. McCarron, Greg McElroy, Mac Jones. I mean, we're talking about average guys at best that these guys were catching balls from at Bama and still producing at a high level. So I'll give the Bama receivers an edge. LSU a close second. Ohio State a close third. It's all close, but yeah.
Did you say Michael Thomas was top 3 in Ohio State?
Yeah, he
Hey,
did.
come on, bro. Let's be real,
It was
bro.
a W take until that part, but he was right everywhere else.
Jeremiah Smith in 1 year has already surpassed Michael Thomas. So like,
Yeah,
and
he's
not putting Chris Olave on there is crazy. But I hear you.
Hey, you
But
believe what you want.
Even said LSU's top 3 beats Bama's top 3, where I think Bama's top 3 with Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith winning the Heisman. You had Amari Cooper, who was in New York for the Heisman. And let's even put J-Mo. J-Mo had 1,500 yards at Alabama.
Where
15
JMO come from? Where JMO come from though?
But still, it's about your
Where-
production on the
No,
school,
I
right?
hear you. But that receiver room so crowded, he had to leave. I rest my case for now.
But that's not resting no case. That's just him getting the opportunity to get out of that room.
Cause he couldn't get no play at Ohio State. That's how
Based
loaded
off
he
your
is
definition,
every
that's
year.
correct. Based off your definition, way you defined it, that's correct. But
I mean, I
if
want
you're
to
looking
know
at it another way,
Judy over JMO for sure. Judy over JMO. That's just me though.
Well, J-Mo put up 1,500 with 15 touchdowns. Like, it's hard to go against the numbers. Now, Judy, he was with Devontae, he was with Waddle. So you could put Judy, right? But
Mhm.
even Judy, Amari Cooper, and Devontae Smith, yes, Jettas was going crazy. Yes, Jamar was going crazy. Yes, Neighbors was going crazy. But those
Crazy.
guys, top 3 was going crazy as well.
Facts.
So it seemed like majority vote. Go ahead.
I hear y'all, bro, with y'all big three and stuff like that. But like, when are we gonna look at the totality? Like, you gave us a timeline from 2014 or 2010 to now, and like, I can name times where where LSU in like 2015 or 2016, you can't even name those receivers like Malachi Dupree, and I think they had another dude. I don't even know his name. It's like Traven something. Went undrafted. Kayshawn Booty, 6th-round pick. Like, if I went down the list from 2014 to now with Ohio State, there's at least a 2nd-round pick, 1 3rd-round pick, and everybody else 1st-round picks. Like, you know what I'm saying? If I can't add J-Mo to Ohio State, that's cool. Who they replace J-Mo with? They replace him with JSN, another 1st-round pick. You know what I'm saying? When JSN dipped, you got to replace him. Who they replace him with? Marvin Harrison Jr. You know what I'm saying? So, like, and when Marvin Harrison dipped, who they replaced Marvin with? Jeremiah Smith. And then they just had Emeka Ibuka go 1st round. Like, these dudes, like, I feel like y'all discrediting what they've done over the years. Like, that's not even going back to
So
the
who's their
players.
top receiver in the league right now?
I mean, you could say, you could say Chris Olave, you could say Garrett Woods, you could say whatever. I feel like you could say Jackson Smith.
And are they better?
Case closed,
than
my
Justin
friend.
Jefferson,
Case
Jamar
closed.
Chase, Malik
I'm not.
Neighbors?
See, but I think we have 2 different definitions. That's why
That's
we're
what
gonna
I'm
have
saying.
2
But-
different
but
answers.
Aaron-
But I'm glad
then-
Zach asked that question, because now once we get to the NFL production part of it,
But
them
that
guys
doesn't
are
make that
producing
doesn't
the same way.
that doesn't make you wide receiver U though. Like,
Yeah, that's
wide
true.
receiver U is who's putting
I
out
mean-
the people into the league. Like,
I mean,
That's
It's
what
called
I'm saying.
uni-
Okay, but let's look
it's
at
not
it like this.
it's not about if you want to. I think you might be right. That's a completely different conversation, and it might have a different answer. But when we're
That's
talking
fair.
about wide receiver university, I'm going with
Yeah.
the school that since 2014 has at least put out a 2nd-round pick in the NFL draft every single year. Like,
I
what
got
are we
you.
talking about? LSU they didn't do that. Alabama didn't do that. Like, let's be real now.
I'll
I
tell
mean,
you
every
I'll tell you
year,
this,
Alabama
though.
every
When they
year.
do come,
Every
come
year.
out though,
I don't
but when they
remember
do
from
come out, they
2014.
killing it. Them boys is dog.
I got the names down. LSU for
Hold
sure
on.
not up there.
Throw me some names from
But Bama
2014.
was. You talking about
For
LSU?
Ohio
Bama was
State?
definitely up there.
Yeah. For
No, they
Ohio
were
State.
not. For Ohio State, I'll take you back right now. 2014, you got Devin Smith, Michael Thomas, Devin Smith, 2nd-round pick in the league. The next year, 2nd-round pick number 37. That's damn near 1st round. Look it up. 2015, you got
I don't
Michael
remember him,
Thomas.
though.
Just because you don't remember him, don't make it.
No, I'm not.
happened.
I'm not saying that, but it's not a. It's
He
not a
came
name.
out.
It's not a name like Julio Jones though. Like I'm just.
He
that's
didn't do
just
nothing
me.
in the
Because
league, but respectfully.
we didn't even get there. I'm not talking about the league though. And then 2015,
Okay,
you
we
got
going
Mike-
off your definition. I'm going off mine. So keep going.
Okay then. So then we never
We're
gonna have
supposed
an
to be
answer.
going
We
off
never.
of college. Supposed to
Why
be
are
going
we
off
not
of college
talking about the
production, but
league?
go ahead.
That's what I'm
we
saying.
have
What,
to.
Anthony?
Zach, you don't.
We were supposed to break it down to 3 categories, but now we're
Right.
mixing and matching.
Now we going into the draft. So now we talking about the league. So that's what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
let's
Like,
talk
that's why I
draft.
keep-
Let's talk draft.
Well, yeah, because when we talking about draft picks, Ohio State washed all of them. Like I said, they got like 11 plus.
There's
Can
break
y'all
periods
even-
with Ohio State.
So-
There's break periods
so
with
we're-
Ohio State. That's my biggest
Yeah.
thing. There's break periods. It's like
Where?
it's good for
Where's
these
where's
2
the
years.
breaks? Where's the breaks?